Hey everyone, my name is Jacob, and today I'm going to talk about templates in the Podflow app. This is for sure the most powerful feature in Podflow, and once you figure it out, you'll be a super user for sure. It allows you to basically pick and pull all of your favorite pieces of content into any structure you want, and then have that regenerate automatically the next time you upload an episode. That's pretty powerful, but it's also a little bit abstract. So we'll talk specifically about how to create a show notes template because that's a pretty typical use case. People have a specific way they like creating their show notes, and in this case, we can use Podflow to create it the same way every single time. So right now we're on the original show notes, right? We have a description, a timestamped outline, this little text block, and then a call to action with empty Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, URLs. So we're going to try and create then a modified version of this I've already created called custom show notes. And I'll walk you through how I created this custom show notes templates. And in this case, I kind of just threw something together, though there are very good show note templates that you might use for your podcast. This one, I decided to start with a quote and then jump into the description, the timestamped outline, that same text block, but then add key takeaways. And then I changed the content inside of the call to action so that now each time this episode show notes are created, it automatically includes the Instagram and Facebook handles, which my mom uses. And this is an episode between me and my mom for context. So we'll dive right in. We're going to create a new template. The first way you can do that is this create a new template tab. You can choose to start fresh or reuse an existing template. In this case, we're going to start with this original show notes template because it's pretty similar to the one that we want to create with just a few minor tweaks. So we'll hop in the show notes template and click reuse this template, right? As easy as that. And we'll change the title to be custom show notes, show notes part 2. All right. And we'll just leave this description blank for a second, click submit. And then now inside of this custom templates tab, you'll see we have custom show notes part 2. The first thing we want to add is a quotes right above this description. We want the first thing is kind of like a hook. It's just one quote. And to do that, we want the quote to be from the episode every time. So we need to use some AI generated content. So how do we do that? We need to click first on this block of content, this description, and click this button called add a block below. Once you do that, you'll be presented with an option to create a new block that is either of the text block type or the AI block type, or you can delete it, right? Since in this case, we want quotes, which is AI generated content, we'll click AI block, go to where the quotes are, and select our quotes generated, the AI generated quote content. Sweet. So now the quotes are right here beneath this SEO description. And we are able to very subtly drag this piece of content by dragging this line attached to the quotes title above the SEO description. And then I just want to focus on that right there. This is saving. So this bar indicates that this template is now saved. It's just constantly saving in the background, so you don't have to worry about that. But when you edit this template, it's automatically saving. And the next time you were to upload an episode, this custom show notes part 2 template would be generated with this quotes content at the top. You can get super fancy with all the customizations you create. In this case, we just want the quote content to be generated every time and be at the top. And then because there's several quotes in here, I'll just select one and then manually edit and just remove the quotes that I don't want at the top and all the extra formatting and just say this right here. In fact, I don't even want the name, right? Maybe we can say Jacob, but what we want is this quote content to the top. And so now we've edited that inside of the Podflow app, and we have just a few more edits to make before we're all the way finished with our example where we're creating these custom show notes. So if we look at the custom show notes that I've already created, we now need to add key takeaways, a little bit of the same, right? And we need to add this text block, and then we need to change the call to action. So we'll go ahead and do that. Instead of the custom show notes, we'll, beneath the text block, add another block. We'll select an AI block, And then we'll go ahead and select key takeaways, which is in this quotes, title, summaries, and more. We want to add a key takeaway, right? And we can remove a couple key takeaways in case we don't want all of them. And then we can add another block below. This time we want a text block, and we'll just type in the 3 dashes for consistency. And then down here, my mom is we'll go ahead and change the call to action to say, connect with us on social. And we'll go ahead and change it to my mom's social handle. And remove the YouTube social handle. And there we go. The next time that you upload an episode to this same project, we'll talk about that in a second. The next time you upload an episode, all of this content will be generated, and the only thing you have to do is edit it, to your specification, right? And you can get really fancy with this. For instance, in case we didn't want the SEO description and hook, we could throw in something else like also in quotes, titles, and summaries tab. We can go into the guest introduction or the summary and replace that. Or we can even go into Prompt Studio and say, give me a 2-sentence summary. And in a moment, this will be generated. So we'll wait for that. And after it's been generated, we'll be able to select it and add it to our custom show notes template. Cool. So it's been generated. We'll go into the custom show notes part 2 template that we've been working on and replace this SEO description and hook we'll just delete it, right? We don't need that here anymore. We'll add a block below, turn it into an AI block, and then go to our Prompt Studio. Oh, wait. We have to save it first. So that's a really good thing to note. I messed up earlier. We have this 2-sentence summary, and we can only add it to a template if we first save it. All right, and then we can go to our custom show notes part 2 template and add a block, select AI block, and then go to Prompt Studio, give me a 2-sentence summary, which was the custom content that we created, and have that added here. So you can get really fancy with this, right? It doesn't have to be a summary. It can be anything you create in the Prompt Studio and have that put into a template that gets regenerated every single time. And so that's some of the magic behind templates in Podflow. This for sure is outstanding compared to other apps that do show notes and things like that, because any changes you make to a text block automatically are saved. You don't have to do tons of work to create a new template. I think it's pretty intuitive. And then one of the other templates that I like to create is my favorite pieces of content, right? Just so I have all of it in one place. These things tend to be heavy hitters. And so this is a summary, the intriguing questions, the time-stamped outline, the actionable insights, and the guest introduction. And these are my favorite pieces of content. I can go ahead and look for, I'm adding blocks, but not looking at them. I can go ahead and look for more. So I can, if my favorite piece of content was also email, I can put email subject lines right here. I can just have my favorite pieces of content all in one place rather than jumping between these tabs. And it's all about speeding up the workflow, speeding up the process so that each time you publish an episode, there's not this cognitive overhead to get the task done. That's what Podflow is for. It's supposed to be this one-stop shop to get your publishing tasks done. So I hope that is helpful. If you figure this out, you are a super user, and I want to know what you create. Right now, when you create a new template, you're able to share it with the community. That's really just sharing it with me. And if you create something that's super helpful to everyone, I hope eventually I have several templates that are from the community that I can share with other people to make their process easier so that they don't have to spend the time creating the best templates out there. So that right there is templates in Podflow. Cheers.